Now, I gave this case, the Apple Techwoven case, a glowing initial review. But I spent a ton of time using this product, and I'm a little more reserved about it now because of, well, this. For the iPhone 17s, I'm testing 50 cases to find the best 5. I've tested 16 already. Because I'm a reviewer, not an influencer, for the iPhone 17s, my scoring system is based on what the iPhone actually feels when it hits the ground on its corner, on its face, as well as on its camera lump. Every case in my video gets dropped at least 30 times. So when I say it's terrible, it's because I've got the data to back it up. So this is case review number 2 out of 50. When it comes to the overall design of this product, I'm a fan. The Techwoven fabric is very nice. It's a nice change from the plastic feeling of most cases. Color selection isn't too crazy, and the case is only for the Pro versions of the iPhone 17s. When it comes to weight, this thing weighs 35 grams, which is the same as the Apple Silicone Case. When it comes to the bulk of the case, it's going to bump it up by about 47%. That sounds like a lot, but in my collection, that's very, very low. When it comes to using your iPhone, this product is very, very grippy, but it's not in your face grippy. The edge has a bit of texture to it, and if you drop it on rough surfaces, it will peel off. But on this case, this corner was dropped about 14 times. Looks pretty good. In terms of access, this case has flow-through metallic buttons, which are very, very nice. The camera control button also floats and is attached to the case. My only gripe about this product is that the port cutout is a tad small. It's going to fit most cables, but there are some in my collection that don't fit. When it came to MagSafe accessories, the pull strength for the product was 8.2 newtons to push things off, like so, was 10 newtons. Strong enough for you to use grips and wallets without much of an issue, but still it was 10% lower than average. All right, let's talk about protection. Apple doesn't have any sort of drop rating to it. This case is basically a TPU edge, I believe, with a polycarbonate back. There is a bit of friction on the edge of the case, so it doesn't slide around too badly, but the backside is a little slick. For protection, the corners are about 2 millimeters thick, and the back is also 2 millimeters thick. And when it came to rigidity, it took about 40 newtons to bend this case at 8 millimeters. That makes the Techwoven 36% more rigid than the average case. So what do my numbers say when you do a corner drop? My testing, when the iPhone makes impact right here, it feels 10.5 Gs. That's like bang on average for all the cases I've tested. Remember the previous case I reviewed, the silicone case? This was 9.5 Gs. And you might not think materials don't matter, but this thing's basically covered in plastic, this thing is covered in fabric, this thing stores energy a little better than this thing. So yeah, I don't know, material science is cool. I'll be honest with you, it was kind of neat to see the differences in my tests between these two products. Now, interestingly enough, after it hits, this case doesn't actually bounce around as much. The silicone case, iPhone basically danced in this product. This thing, not so much. The amount of spinning it did after hitting the ground and doing this was actually 9% lower, which is a great value. But during the drops, the amount of time the case was doing this was a little higher, like 20% higher. Ruh-roh. So if we sum everything up for corner drops, the total force felt by the iPhone was very, very average. This thing is as average as it gets in terms of a corner protection. How about face first drops? In the previous video, if you remember this product, the lip would roll out. Did this product do the same? It sure did, so it's a big red flag when it comes to face drops. To be clear, it's an iPhone with a screen protector. With a bare iPhone, you might get away with it. Like the corner drops, this thing performed slightly worse than the Apple Silicone Case. There is a polycarbonate frame around the camera lump, and so it's very rigid. You're not going to have to worry about the camera lenses hitting the surface that you're dropping it on, but because of the back being a little more less elastically as the silicone case. When it comes to camera lump, the initial drop was very, very average again. Bounce time was excellent. For the total force, I recorded about 0.50 newtons, which is slightly higher than average. But remember, this is a super thin case, so having all these values close to average or some better than average is kind of surprising. So that's all I got for case review number 2 out of 50. Again, I'm testing 50 cases to find the best 5. Make sure you subscribe and check back soon so that you stay on top of all the cases that I'm going to be reviewing. Thanks for watching.